Four actors had secret underground tunnels directly from their homes to the Playboy Mansion. Whoa. Jack Nicholson, James Caan, Warren Beatty, and Kirk Douglas.
Sex trafficking, forced labor, interstate transportation for purposes of prostitution, coercion and enticement to engage in prostitution, narcotics offenses, kidnapping, arson, bribery, and obstruction of justice.
Tunnels leading to a private grotto. And is it a Playboy Mansion? I know the Playboy Mansion for sure. No, tunnel.
Anthony Rico, one of Sean, Diddy, Combs' defense attorneys, quietly slid a brief motion across the judge's bench and walked out without saying a word. The motion stated only, "Under no circumstances can I continue to effectively serve as counsel for Sean Combs." There was no explanation, no memo, nothing further. Rico made it clear that attorney-client privilege prevented him from disclosing details, though he insisted his departure wouldn't impact the May 5th trial date, despite the fact that losing a lead lawyer just 2 weeks before opening statements almost always disrupts legal strategy. This sudden exit raises a deeper question that may seem unrelated at first.
The FBI discovered a tunnel this morning that the rapper had made in his home, connected to the basement of a former Michael Jackson home.
There is an underground mansion.
The officers found strange items on the floor, such as children's clothing.
Actually terrifying to know that this exists.
It's uncovered tunnels underneath his house.
Diddy's?
Yeah.
Is that true?
Yes.
A lawyer for Sean Diddy, Combs, has quit leading the rapper's legal team ahead of his sex trafficking trial. The New York federal court, Anthony Rico, filed a motion to withdraw as one of Diddy's 6 defense lawyers yesterday. He didn't give an explanation, but wrote, "Under no circumstances can I continue to effectively serve as counsel." He did not elaborate as to why. A judge still has to sign off on the request. Sean Diddy Combs faces charges including sex trafficking. He has pleaded not guilty.
One of the lawyers representing Sean Diddy Combs in his sex trafficking case is quitting. Anthony Rico filed notice in Manhattan federal court Thursday, writing, quote, "Under no circumstances can I continue to effectively serve as counsel." Rico, one of 6 attorneys for the music mogul, did not offer any other details. Combs has pleaded not guilty to the charges, saying he did nothing wrong. His trial is set to begin in May.
And here's the swimming pool. So obviously right now you can't make out how big this place actually is, but stick around to the end of this video and we're gonna watch sunrise and check out the exterior. Alright, let's see the inside of this place. Okay, I'm walking inside. In the backyard, I stumble upon a dark set of stairs leading down under the house, right into the basement. It smells like mildew here in the basement. It's not a good sign. The air is getting cooler as I walk through the open door, swallowed by the darkness. The faint hum of a machine immediately catches my ear. Perhaps the HVAC system left on to fend off the mold creeping through the lower levels.
Outside the courtroom, Rico's abrupt exit triggered a media firestorm. News outlets rushed to publish theories, while social media exploded with speculation. Some legal experts suggested he may have learned something so unsettling, confidential, or even dangerous that he could no longer defend his client.
Underground passageways linking Diddy's Los Angeles mansion to other high-profile estates, a detail nobody saw coming.
Anytime an attorney backs out, that's not a good look. Now, there could be a variety of reasons as to why this happened, and we all get that. I understand that. But anytime an attorney backs out, particularly of a high-profile case like this, is not a good look, and I'm going to tell y'all why. Because if you are an attorney, the more acclaim your client has, the more popularity your client has, the more recognition and notoriety your client has, the more you benefit from a positive outcome in favor of that client. So that client, if Sean Diddy Combs gets off sex trafficking and racketeering charges and the jury finds him not guilty months from now and he's able to walk out the courtroom a free man, you know how good that makes those attorneys look? Everybody will be clamoring for the cameras. An attorney walking away, sometimes it's because they don't get the lead chair or one of the lead chairs. Sometimes it's because a client is lying. Sometimes it's because they believe wholeheartedly that the client is going to be guilty and they don't want to be associated with that guilt because that's a loss on their record. It could be a variety of things. But the fact that we are speculating about that when the trial date hasn't even started yet concerns me, because I'm one of those people, ladies and gentlemen, who firmly believes it's virtually impossible to find a jury that's not contaminated by some kind of information that's been put out to the public before a trial begins.
Potentially, it could be a conflict with the client, right? A disagreement. They just don't get along. The communication is poor. They don't agree on defense strategy. It could be a conflict with one of the other lawyers. Obviously, it seems like Agnifilo is the lead on this case, although Rico was certainly his 1B. And I know obviously there's other lawyers on the case. Obviously, a lot of the victims are female. They're going to want female lawyers on the defense team, especially during some of the aggressive cross-examination. That tends to be the conventional wisdom when you're dealing with victims who are alleged victims of sexual assault or abuse. And then it could be a conflict with one of the victims themselves. Maybe Agnifilo, maybe Rico consulted with them or even represented them in such a way that he has to get off the case. So it could be any number of potential conflicts.
Diddy Rico has been part of Diddy's defense team since September, so he appeared in court with Diddy when he was first arraigned and pled not guilty to the charges. And Anthony has been kind of this almost kind of public kind of support figure for Diddy as his lawyer. In court, he stands up and points out that Diddy's, children have traveled long distances to be there. He sits next to Diddy, during the hearings, they're talking, they're laughing. So they seem to have kind of a more personal relationship maybe than with, Diddy's other lead defense attorneys who are kind of the ones up in front of the judge. And this past week, he just suddenly filed a motion saying that he's withdrawing from the case. And there's not too much detail given, but clearly there was a fork in the road about, something having to do with his case. And he says, like he heard that under no circumstances can he effectively serve as his defense counsel.
It seems that embattled music mogul Sean Diddy Combs is selling his LA mansion. The Holmby Hills estate was the site of a federal raid that Fox 11 first broke back in March. According to TMZ, Combs is looking to sell the off-market for $70 million. The raid was part of a sex trafficking investigation, a grand jury now hearing evidence in that probe. Meanwhile, Diddy is still facing several lawsuits linked to multiple sex abuse allegations. Diddy has denied those allegations.
Others believed it was a calculated tactic to force a delay and reset the defense strategy. Yet, at the heart of every theory was the same unsettling rumor: whispers of underground tunnels connecting Diddy's Los Angeles mansion to other high-profile estates. A revelation.
Guys, they found underground tunnels at Diddy's homes. This was first brought up by Shadow of Ezra, where he talked about the underground tunnels in Diddy's luxurious Los Angeles mansion. It was an underwater swimming tunnel leading to a mysterious grotto, reminiscent of an ancient and modern human use of caves. Now, this is all alleged, of course, but they say that this tunnel connects to the Playboy Mansion. You guys remember that? Hugh Hefner, the guy who lived with all those women in his mansion? There's no available evidence right now. However, reports are noting that Combs' mansions do have a pool with an underwater swimming tunnel. They say it's not connected to the Playboy Mansion, but there is a reason why the Playboy Mansion keeps coming up. 10 years ago, they were building underground tunnels to the Playboy Mansion for people like Jack Nicholson for his birthday. So this way, they don't have to go through the outside, but go underground in secret to the Playboy Mansion to do God knows what. You can see the sketches here of these underground tunnels being built. They were working on it, and it was supposed to connect celebrities like Jack Nicholson, Warren Beatty, Michael Jackson, just to name a few. As reported by People magazine, these underground tunnels to the Playboy Mansion were sealed off in the 1980s. The question is, do you believe that? Stay safe and be smart.
An editor for Playboy was digging around the office for old pictures and made an interesting discovery. In the 70s and 80s, 4 actors had secret underground tunnels directly from their homes to the Playboy Mansion. Whoa. Jack Nicholson, James Caan, Warren Beatty, and Kirk Douglas. The Playboy editor came across photos from 1977 that showed a large excavation project at the mansion. After doing some research, he found blueprints for the tunnels that led to these guys' homes, which were all pretty close to the mansion. They don't exist anymore. They were closed in 1989, the same year Hugh Hefner married playmate Kimberly Conrad. Hefner didn't want to talk about the tunnels, and reps for Nicholson, Caan, Douglas, and Beatty wouldn't comment either.
There's creeping, and there's dig a tunnel to the Playboy Mansion creeping.
The Diddy dungeon theory. Oh, how there's tunnels underneath his house? And how
That's
Michael
crazy.
Jackson in the song says, I always feel like somebody's watching me, and I have no privacy. Because supposedly there's a tunnel connected from Diddy's house to Michael Jackson's house.
No way.
Yeah, you didn't know that?
I
That's a
actually did
big
not
one
know
right
that.
now. So I fact checked this whole thing. There's only proof that in Diddy's pool, there's tunnels leading to a private grotto.
And is it the Playboy Mansion? 'Cause I know the Playboy Mansion for sure.
No.
Had tunnel.
It's his own house. So according to the website, it has a private theater that can fit 35 people. And the most serious thing about his property is that the underwater tunnel connected to a grotto is inside a mansion.
Oh damn.
So that kind of backs up the fact that it's Michael Jackson's house because they live close to each other.
Now for those hidden tunnels buried underneath the mansion.